Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. If you've seen the Mythic Uniques video, this is basically a follow-up. There have been new patch notes, all new unique items, or well, reworked unique items. So each unique item has been changed in some type of way. So we're gonna get right into it. I'm going to go over all of the multi-class uniques, like Tibault's Will, and all of these are open. And I will also do the Sorcerer and Druids, but let's get into this right now. Tibault's Will also looks different. Well, first change I see. Potion capacity finally gone. That's a stat really not necessary. Maximum life, maximum resource iffy, but maximum life is always wanted. That's not that bad. Damage reduction while unstoppable could be quite nice for sorcerers, and you deal more damage while unstoppable, and you gain 50% resource. So this has not been changed, just the stats on there. Maximum resource is quite decent, hasn't been changed much. Damage reduction, always nice, because you didn't really get any of the defensive stats. So I think this is a good change, but it's not really crazy or anything. Tibault's Will is still kind of underpowered right now because it got nerfed quite hard. So next up, Mother's Embrace. I did see this one. This one got a huge buff. Just look at the stats. I mean, from 18 to 47 or even 65, all stats can get 15% attack speed. That's a lot more. It just has the 3 stats you always want in a ring: attack speed, crit chance, and lucky hit chance. And also, you know, good stats on there. You can get greater efficacy on this. That makes it great. And the passive skill also got increased by 10%. So that's pretty damn good. So Mother's Embrace actually is quite a nice ring. Sometimes, you know, you got this early in the game. It would be nice, but it would be like, yeah, just a stepping stone. Now, this is really good and actually can be done in quite a few builds, especially if you have a lot of core skills that take a lot of energy or resources. So then we've got X-Falls. X-Fall was usually an item I just, you know, got from Duriel that I didn't really want to get. So let's see if they actually got something better. Item's kind of, you know, bad quality, but let's go. All stats, okay, more all stats. Lucky hit chance still on there. We got vulnerable damage now. That's a new one instead of cooldown reduction. So that's kind of a nerf. Also damage over time. Yeah, that's increased quite a bit. Okay, so we lost the cooldown reduction. That is quite a shame. And we got vulnerable damage for it. So it's, but although the other 2 stats got increased, I don't know if this is that good. Your damage over time effects have a 70% chance to erupt, dealing 450 damage of the same type to surrounding enemies. I think this got reduced. No, I think this has to be a bug. This can't be that they just nerfed this item. This item was already not that good. So I think they increased this item, but they might have gotten like a low level item or something went wrong here. I can't believe this, but we're going to continue on, but we're not going to look back at this one. The Butcher's Cleaver. I really would want this to be a nice item, because, you know, killing the Butcher and getting his Cleaver should be a cool moment. So let's see what you get. Attack speed, sounds pretty good. That's actually nice for an axe. Movement speed, bit of a random one, but sure. Physical damage, always nice. Also, the physical damage got up to quite a bit, from 17.5 to 85%. That's quite a lot. Then critical strike chance against feared enemies, 25% is actually quite a bit. So normally it used to be against injured enemies, but now it's against feared enemies. And critical striking enemy has a 100% chance to fear them and slow them. So basically, once you get critting, then you keep going. But the thing is, this does not work on bosses. So that's basically one stat that doesn't really work on bosses, which is quite a shame. Not having that stat on bosses, I don't know. I don't know if this, maybe in a barbarian build, you also get some damage to injured enemies. It could be like a fun thing, but I don't know if this is really going to work out. It could maybe go for like a lot of stagger on the boss, but I really don't know. I really don't know. I need to see this in action, but we'll see. A 90% chance is almost 100%, so that could be quite nice. I was about to say Azurewrath. Really cool item, like how it looks, but usually I don't really use this at all. Okay, so we got the attack speed. Did get reduced by a little bit, but now 7 to 9 instead of 4 to 10. Guess better, you get better rolls. Then all stats, a lot more all stats. Cold resistance. Okay, you don't really need cold resistance, but sure. Chance to do 5,000 cold damage, I guess. a chance to freeze enemies up to 3 seconds and dealing damage to them. So the damage got buffed by a lot. We do miss the core damage, non-physical damage, and damage to crowd control. But I guess we got a lot of cold damage to kind of compensate for that. Cold resistance. There's a running team that is supposed to put resistance on items now. But I think this is an improvement. Although I need to see how often this actually procs. Because putting that in your sword, you're losing quite a bit. Like double cast chance, all of these things. And is this going to be enough? I don't know. I've never really played a cold build like that. But maybe after some trying out, it could be a nice item. Then this one, the Banished Lord Talisman, could actually be for some quite fun builds with the overpower crit that deals an insane amount of damage. So we got at least something instantly spots that you can get one more to core skills. That's already a good buff. Attack speed, that's really nice. No more crit chance. Eesh, that is a shame. Crit chance is something you really want on that amulet. Crit chance, attack speed, cooldown reduction. Sadly, these things are not on there. Does get more overpower damage. That is good because the whole thing runs on overpower. The rest didn't really change. So is this item gonna be? It's gonna be for some very niche builds as always. And other than that, yeah, it's nice that you have +1 core skills on there as well. Other than that, they didn't really address some of the big problems with it. So I'm not sure this is gonna be that good. Moving on, Penitent Greaves. Sorry guys, English is not my first language. I'll be stuttering and stumbling over my words a lot. I just want to get this to you guys as fast as possible. So I'm quite a bit excited as well. Okay, movement speed, high buff, 25%. That's good. Critical strike chance against shield enemies. Okay, could be good. I also saw in the campfire that this actually has 2 stats on there, 2 base stats. That's pretty cool. Unhindered for 2 seconds. This could be quite nice, just especially if you're dashing around for the place. 2-second cooldown. Or not 2-second cooldown, but every 2 seconds. I would say evade cooldown is quite low, so you would have 2 seconds of like high movement speed and 2 seconds of nothing. So, you know, you could mess around with this. Could be quite nice. You're slowing everything else. You're quite fast. Could be nice, but just the trail force and the little bit extra damage against chill enemies, it could be nice, but I don't know, chill, slow potency, you can really go full on in the slowing, but doesn't really help. 25% extra damage against chilled enemies is quite nice though. So it could be nice boots until you get your best in slot. Especially for the frozen builds. You're not going to use this on a lightning build, of course. So with this one as well, Flickerstep has 2 stats on there, on base stats. That's also pretty cool. Attacks reduce evades cooldown by 2.5 seconds. That's a crazy buff because this is already quite good. If you have quite a lot of attack speed, this is already crazy. So this is going to be great. And then evade gains 30% movement speed for 1.5 seconds. So you can basically keep this 30% movement speed up permanently if you keep attacking and keep moving. Then it has like 18% movement speed. Of course, it's not going to be that crazy. 300% ultimate damage. That's new. Yeah, okay, it was 50%, but 300%, okay, new. Lightning resistance seems like a bit of a random stat. Okay, it's going for the lightning kind of flicker step, but like, I don't know. Damage reduction from close enemies, always pretty good. Like, you're gonna get hit from close anyway, so damage reduction, not bad. Each enemy you evade through reduces your ultimate cooldown. Okay, this is the same thing. Up to 10 seconds, so you get your ultimate cooldown reduced a lot. It could be nice, because especially there are other items that reduce your ultimate cooldown by quite a lot. Especially, I think the Rogue's Amulet has like a 50% cooldown. So if you can do this with Flickerstep, you could get like permanent uptime but you can get your ultimate out quite a lot. And you'll be dashing all over the place. So I think there's quite some fun builds to be had here. Moving on, Yen's Blessing. I've seen this in a few builds. Base stat didn't change. Damage reduction from close enemies, we actually got resistance to all on there. Movement speed is also on there. Vulnerable damage is gone. We now have resource regeneration and all stats. All stats is always nice to have on there. 42 all stats, not too bad. I mean, it is one of the better stats to get, so that's fine. Casting skill has a 40 to 60% chance to cast a non-mobility, non-ultimate skill that's currently on cooldown. It is effective on curve. Okay, it's the same once every 8 seconds. Nothing changed here. But the stats, I think these stats could be a little bit better just because you get the rest to all, but I don't know. I don't think this is, nah, it didn't really do it, I think. Maybe there's some builds that can utilize this, but I don't think this is going to be a good item just because of the stat changes. But oh well. Razorplate. So basically nothing changed in the thorns, but the damage did get increased by 50% multiplicative. So that is quite nice. If you get this with a few GAs, yeah, you can get quite a nice thorn build going on. And 50% increased damage. That is nice. So the 10% that really let that boom, yeah, that round got really increased. So that is always a nice change to see, just a good buff, whatever. We're going to move on. Maximum life, still the same. Potion capacity, I hate to see it. I really don't like potion capacity, but maybe with this new passive, also looks different now, it will actually get something good. Barrier generation, it did go up by 40, but for 14 to 40%, quite a bit. Damage reduction into while healthy, that's 12.5%. I mean, yeah, sure, damage reduction is fine. Your healing potion no longer heals instantly and instead grants a barrier for 200% of the original healing for 4 seconds. You gain 30% damage reduction while you have a barrier and may drink your healing potion while at full life. 30% damage reduction while you have a barrier is actually quite nice for a chess piece. Even though you're missing some stats, you do gain the maximum life, which is usually something you take on your chess piece. Armor, of course, but lots of other things give armor nowadays. So you could play around with this with like a sorcerer, get that 30% damage buff. You get a lot of more barrier generation. There's some potential here to actually get quite a bit of 30%. Is quite a lot for a chess piece. So you can play around with this and you just get a lot more barrier, even though you do need some kind of life regeneration. But I think this one does have a little bit of potential. It's not a completely ruined. Fists of Fate. So I saw this one and it was insane. Okay, so we got the 4 random stats all condensed into one. And that's basically a 1 to 51%. If you get this GA, it's gonna be insane. So we're gonna get the lucky hit chance. So a 1 in 51% chance just to get a random crowd control track. That's pretty cool. The actual passive didn't really change much. So then we got critical strike chance, attack speed, which is basically something you always want on your gloves. And then we got 1 to 51% lucky hit chance. What the hell? 51%. Imagine a GA on this, which I think does 1.5. Yeah, so we got 75% lucky hit chance. 75%. You can take so many items until you hit 75%. And now it's just on there. And then you can masterwork that as well. So yeah, we're going to hit the 100% lucky hit chance on gloves. It's insane. So lucky hit chance builds are wilding right now. You do not get the plus to core skills, but if you get this to 300%, this is going to be the big money item. If you get this item 300% or above 250%, and then with the lucky hit chance, ooh, that's going to be insane. You're going to see some crazy numbers. So really looking forward to that one. Okay, Frostburn was always a bit of a item with the 25% chance to freeze enemies for 2 seconds. So let's see what they did with that. So they gave it more attack speed, fire and cold damage. The lucky hit chance just got almost a base stat. That's great. Fire and cold damage. Oh, okay. So they're really leaning into the fire and cold thingy now, because now it's really Frostburn instead of just freezing. Okay, fire and cold. And a 60% chance to freeze enemies for 3 seconds. Okay, not too bad. But yeah, the 180% fire and cold, there's not really that many builds though that really utilize this. It is a shame that we don't get to see the critical strike chance because they wanted to do both of them. I would say if this one was put into just one stat and then just the critical strike chance dragged on there, that would actually be quite a nice item. But now, are you really going to take this over core skills or some of your core skills being leveled? I don't know. I don't know if it has that capacity. 60% chance to freeze enemies could be, but I would rather have a Fist of Fate. That's just me. Then we're going to go to Paingorger's Gauntlets. Okay, so nothing really changed. I'm just reading quickly through the unique passive. That didn't change at all. Okay, but what are the stats? Okay, attack speed. Okay, from 4 to 10, we get 7 to 9. On average, you're getting more. Cooldown reduction, that's new. And of course, +2 basic skills. That's very nice. The plus the chance to stun is usually what you would temper on your gloves anyway. So I think that's very nice that I put that on there. It is a shame that we're losing the critical strike chance. It's just, that's just the way it is. You know, we can't do much about that. But we're losing that, but we're gaining the basic skills, which is quite nice. You're going to use this on a basic skill anyway. Plus for the basic skills, GA that, put anything, masterworking on that. You're going to get quite a few +2 basic skills. Sorry, that +2 basic skills. We're not even talking right now. So that's going to be crazy. So quite excited for that one. There's going to be some basic. I like the basic attack builds. I really think maybe this one with the Druid, which one has a little bit new one on Shred, the Lightning Shred build. It's going to be crazy. We'll see. Godslayer's Crown also looks different. I like the previous one more. This one looks more like, there's this guy on Twitch. There was a weird meme about it. Oh, whatever. But it looks like a weird helmet, like Executioner's helmet. I like the Godslayer Crown a little bit more, but whatever. The passive did not change, but against bosses, this effect triggers when dealing damage instead. Okay, so you can actually get this 60% increased damage to them for 3 seconds against bosses now. Quite nice. And, okay, cooldown reduction, we already have cooldown reduction. Damage against elites also works for bosses, of course. Elites and bosses, they count as the same thing. Maximum life, we already had that. I do like the damage against elites more than just the damage, so that's a buff. All stats, 40 all stats is quite a bit, 42. You can get quite a bit of stats on there. It's the crowd control duration would have been quite nice, but I think these are good changes. And I think the item got better because of it. Because this, of course, is great for all of the mobs, but now you even get a lot more damage for elites. You're going to clear away all of those non-elites anyway, so this is a good change. Godslayer Crown actually got buffed. Good. Temerity got changed quite a lot, so I'm not sure what they do with it now. I think effects that, okay, 100%, gain a barrier to 100% of your maximum life for 8 seconds. Okay, potion can be used when life is at full. Okay, it's still the same. Maximum life is now a percentage. Could be a little bit more towards the tankiness. Healing received, of course, with the potions. Damage reduced while healthy. Yeah, it works. And a chance to heal life, which also got buffed with like 1.5. So we got less potion drop rate, but now just more damage reduction. So all of the life that you get is actually worth more. I don't know. Temerity also has been a bit lackluster in my opinion. This buff isn't really going to change it to something insane. But they really don't want to do something crazy with barriers. With damage, they do a lot of crazy stuff, but with barriers, I can see how an immortal build is quite annoying. So they're going to probably be careful with that. But hopefully they're going to make a bit of a better change in the future. Then the last multi-class unique. Sorry guys, it's taking a long time. There's a lot of items. I want to talk a lot. I'm already restraining myself to talk a little bit per video, or per item, but we're going to get there. So we got all stats right now. Maximum resistance to all elements. Only 2.5%, but you can of course increase this with masterworking. Although it's not going to be that much. You're going to get like what, maximum 5% out of this. So that's not really that good. Also resistance to all of them could be nice. Could be a nice item choose to as something you get, and then later on you get something better. Because when you take damage from a non-physical damage type, you gain 15% maximum resistance to that damage type for 6 seconds. This effect can only apply to one damage type at a time. So maybe Duriel, you'll help a little bit with like the poison resistance. So you'll have, instead of like 70%, you'll have like 90%. It's like, yeah, sure. A little bit more tankiness, but like pants with armor, maximum health, and like resistance already do this quite well. So it's like a little buff if you have nothing better. Sure. So that was it, folks. That was all of the items. It was quite a bit of items. And I will also do the Sorcerer and Druid items, but I'll get there. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe. I will be streaming. And I appreciate you guys for watching the video all the way to the end. See you guys next time. Ciao.